back to Mike's Organic Living. I decided to upload that first part anyway. Hey, I'm human, you know, and some of you might enjoy seeing somebody else kind of make some mistakes. But there was some good stuff in there, even though I was off camera for a lot of it. So I took the raspberries back out of the refrigerator. Of course, I used the opportunity to put away that organic yogurt before I started the camera up again. I really don't need any of that stuff going bad. So just to reiterate, just repeat it in case you missed the last segment. Usually only buy one berry at a time of a type. These are Driscoll's Organic. Raspberries, of course, purchased at Trader Joe. And again, shout out to the staff, very friendly staff at Trader Joe's. Thank you for being so warm to me all the time and very friendly and very accommodating. And maybe we'll be able to shoot in there next time. And I'll be bringing back your cart tomorrow when I come back. Went with a cooler bag and one other reusable bag from Trader Joe's and bought 4 bags worth of groceries. I was only supposed to buy I was thinking I was going to buy half a dozen to a dozen items, and kind of went overboard a little bit. So there you go. Walked the 8 or 10 blocks there and wasn't carrying 4 bag groceries 8 to 10 blocks back. Even if I could manage to somehow carry all of them, frankly, there's no way the paper bag with the yogurts in it wasn't going to bust and be all over the freaking street. So okay, I'll try it. So, bear with me. Okay, raspberries, organic raspberries. And now I don't have the window, so I can't even see if I'm on camera. Forgot to flip it over. He's in live TV, great, live on tape. Hang on a second. Okay, now I should be able to see if I'm actually on camera or off camera, because I don't really need that again. Okay, stand closer to the cart, Mike. There we go. And here's my groceries. Okay. Driscoll's raspberries. Again, we've got, hopefully you can see the difference in the color. Deeper, darker color. Smell wonderful. Not as dark. Have a nice smell, not quite as good. These will probably be sweeter, but they're probably not going to last that long. It might not even have the 3-day shelf life, but hopefully it'll last at least 3 days. I'm going to make sure I eat plenty of them tomorrow. And make sure my son has some maybe the next day. I may even stick one in the middle of the grapefruits that I'm going to have. Did I put those away yet? Oh, I think I must put them away too. Okay, well if not, I'll talk about the grapefruits. Oh no, I did not. Okay, so just quickly before I put these in the fridge, you open up. Again, always check raspberries. Usually I don't open the package because I don't want to freak people out, but I try to look through. But this inside the raspberry is where the mold is most likely going to start. Is this showing up? Oh, here we go, I'm off camera. I'm aiming at the view screen instead of the lens. This little part in here is where the mold usually starts if you're going to get mold. And you don't want that. So you try and check top, bottom in the store, just that you don't see any mold. Flip it all around. Again, smell, use your nose. Something like 75 to 90% of our taste is actually the smell. Some of us learned this in elementary school. You blindfold somebody, give them an orange, I'll be right, an onion and an apple. Texture-wise, they're very similar. And you hold their nose and have them eat them, and very often they can't tell the difference. They can't tell you whether they're eating a sliced onion or sliced apple, because our smell is so much a part of our taste. Smell is actually a little more intense, so most of the time we're going to be a little disappointed, not always. Well, a lot of the time not, thank God. But if you ever wonder why sometimes things just don't taste as good as they smell, it's just scientifically not possible most of the time for things to taste as good as they smell. But you want to get as close as possible. So with berries, always use your nose. Don't really doesn't matter. Now, obviously, if you have a horrible cold and you're sneezing and coughing and dripping, probably not a good day to go shopping for food anyway. Probably should be home in bed, but unless you're a mess, it's okay to smell. I don't care what other people think you look like, as long as you're not coughing and sneezing and dripping, it's your money, it's your body, you make sure you like what you're getting. If they smell sweet, they probably will be sweet. The one exception I found in the last 6-7 years is peaches. I can't get a decent peach. I don't know what it is, they smell great, and I rarely get fooled when it comes to produce, so I know what I'm doing. Peaches, I don't know what it is. Pick them up, smell them, they smell great, they look good, get home. They've been mealy, they don't taste that great. So occasionally I'll buy what they call a UFO or donut peaches. They almost kind of look like Saturn or like a bumpy tire. They're a little more expensive. They usually end up costing about $1 a piece if you can get them on sale for, 2 for $1.50 or 3 for $2 or 2 for $1. Just buy them up when they're in season because they're I've never gotten a bad one. I've just never gotten a bad one. Now it's a little hard to get organic. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't, and I hate buying non-organic fruit, but sometimes if I'm really jonesing for a peach, I'll make an exception. The nice thing about those two is, you don't want to spend 5 minutes picking out the perfect one's produce, and my wife does not like bruised fruit. So I got to spend extra time making sure I do not get anything with bruises. And the last thing you need is to unpack the groceries. You come home and they roll right off the counter onto the floor. You just spend 5 minutes picking out an unbruised peach, and now it's on the floor. That's one nice thing about the UFOs, they don't roll. They're kind of shaped like the planet Saturn. They don't, like flying saucer, they do not roll. Okay, so raspberries, I should be putting them right in the fridge, but I'm not. I'm going to walk off camera right now, but there you go. Deeper the color, generally the sweeter and the more nutritious, but you have to watch about over-ripeness, and with berries, you don't want anything moldy. Better to get the lighter raspberry than the dark one if you see some signs of mold. Okay, I got my organic grapefruit here from Trader Joe's. I picked out 3. Of course, I smell them. Now, I always get ones that have some blush on them. If they don't have some blush on the outside, I don't even buy them. First of all, I prefer pink and red grapefruit. They're sweeter. They're also more nutritious for you. They have much more nutrients. Generally in nature, things that are red in color, purple, blue, orange, have more intense nutrients, and certain nutrients have greater quantity than some of the things that are, say, yellow. Now, things that are orange in color tend to be good for your eyesight, carrots, mangoes, things like that have vitamin A and other things good for you there too. But I always look for the blush, and I smell. If it smells nice, it's going to taste nice. 99 out of 100 times, if not 100 out of 100. Sometimes I go home empty-handed. Last week I went to Trader Joe's and I did not like the looks of any of the grapefruit. Most of them looked a little small. None of them had the blush. None of them had the blush anywhere. They were just kind of a yellowish I didn't like. They probably were white grapefruit, and even if they weren't, they probably didn't have the intense color or flavor that I want. So, again, look for the blush. They should feel heavy in the hand, of course, like Pete, your produce pal, always used to say. Pete Carcioni, I believe his name was. Shout out to Pete. Produce pal, I watched him when I was a kid and always liked him, never met him, would love to sometime, but if anything I say or do kind of reminds you of produce Pete, it's probably unintentional but unavoidable, because I watched him for so many years, still watch him occasionally, and it's hard to kind of, wipe that out of your mind. And besides, when something really is good, you can't help but incorporate some of it into what you do. So we got our 3 grapefruit. We do like them chilled, so I do put them in the refrigerator, but it's not as essential. They weren't refrigerated at Trader Joe's, so those can wait. I will put them in a crisper drawer, those, so they don't roll off a shelf in the refrigerator inadvertently and, split, bruise, leach juice. So those go in a crisper for damage control. Okay. Got our other bag of salad. First one was in the first part. This is the herb salad mix. Yes, it's very similar looking to, am I on camera again? Very similar looking. I think I keep walking off camera because I'm lining up with the view screen instead of the lens. I'm not used to this. I'm used to just, having the thing the other way. So bear with me. This is a work in progress. I'm learning. Hopefully these things will get a little slicker, a little better, a little more professional looking each time. Although probably some of the charm is the fact that they're so unprofessional and crude and whatever. Honest, straight from the hip. But you got your herb salad mix, baby spring mix. This is Trader Joe's own brand. They are organic. And very honestly, most of the time, these I don't rinse. It's one of the few things I don't, because they say they're triple washed. They say they're triple washed. These are sealed bags. It's not like an open airy container like for the berries got to breathe. Otherwise, they will breed mold and stuff because of the moisture content. So stuff can get in those. These are sealed bags. So I do not wash these. They're already triple washed. I don't feel a need to. So these are nice. I can just open these up, put them in a metal bowl or a big salad bowl, and mix in, some organic carrots, organic peppers, other things. I'm going to chop up onions, whatever. Sometimes I put a little of that garlic, onion, and shallot mix from Trader Joe's in there. Lately I've been putting things like sunflower seeds, organic pumpkin seeds, some raisins, cranberries in there for some texture, color, and sweetness. And seeds are a great source of nutrition. Seeds and nuts. You gotta watch, some are better than others, of course. Cashews, very fatty, much better with almonds and walnuts. Dr. Oz, I believe he'd say walnuts every day. I think he eats them in a jar of water. I think he says that takes some of the bitterness out. I'm gonna have to start trying that, but very nutritionally dense, what I like to call power foods. I always try and eat some power foods every day, things that have a lot of stuff in them that's really good for you, but not super high in calories, and the fats are good fats. Almonds, walnuts, great for you. Walnuts, very high in magnesium. Well, I'm not a doctor, I have a lot of nutritional knowledge, and I will tell you, if you get migraine headaches, you suffer from migraine headaches or just a lot of headaches, very often they're caused, among other things, by a deficiency in magnesium. There are magnesium supplements you can buy, and they're not that expensive. But a healthy, tasty way to get a lot of magnesium is to eat walnuts. Eat those 6-8 walnuts a day. It's good for you, and in fact, your migraines may go away, or you may not get them as frequently. But it's just good for you. Almonds too, I make trail mix for my wife, and I buy it all individually. I don't buy commercial trail mix, because most of it is too much sugar in it. It's not organic, and maybe you throw so whatever. I buy all the pieces individually. I buy all the organic parts, and I make them myself. Probably saving money over what it would cost to buy them pre-made, but that's not even the point, because organic is not as cheap as regular. But I'm also, so maybe I'm just offsetting the cost, but my wife's eating organic. And during the whole pregnancy with our 2-year-old son, I made sure that virtually everything she ate, it was organic or natural, and no alcohol. But that's a talk for another day about alcohol, but I'm glad to hear that Snooki hopefully will be cleaning up her act now. She, of course, partied like it was 1999 on New Year's Eve this year, and then the next day or so found out she was pregnant. So, knock on wood, hopefully the baby will be okay, but hopefully she's going to switch to the Virgin Marys right now or whatever. So anyway, you got your salads. Again, those say the triple washed. I believe them, so I don't wash them. Okay, now, I'm going to be making some pizza, either for another segment, either later today or tomorrow. And usually I use Trader Joe's organic white button mushrooms. They didn't have any. And I didn't know if I was going to get back there. Now I'm probably going to get back there tomorrow, but I really wanted to make a pizza. I love shiitake mushrooms. Now I've never made them on a pizza yet. I've made all kinds of soups with lemongrass. When my wife was still eating chicken, I would get organic chicken thighs. And the dark meat is definitely tastier. A little bit of fat, trade-off, it's worth it because it's so much tastier. Same with turkey, but she doesn't eat that anymore. But I used to make a great soup with lemongrass and organic chicken thighs and shiitake mushrooms and vegetables, of course. I think there was probably some bok choy in there. I haven't made it in a while now, but I think I'm going to try and make the same recipe for now, just with tofu instead of the chicken. But I'm going to try the pizza instead, since I couldn't get organic mushrooms today, and I really want to make the pizza. Shiitake mushrooms are really good for you. They're very nutritious. They got a lot of stuff in them that a lot of other mushrooms don't. Fairly confident that they probably don't use a lot of pesticides and stuff with the mushrooms. I think. I can't prove, but my gut feeling is, I'm comfortable buying these non-organic and using them on the pizza. So the pizza will be mostly organic, and I think their whole wheat dough may not be, but all the other ingredients will be. But shiitake mushrooms, good stuff. What they call the traffic light peppers. Well, actually, traffic light would be red, yellow, and green. Most of the time they used to do that, and then they realized most people, if you want green pepper, you're going to buy green pepper. They're much cheaper. These are all around the same price. Why put the cheap pepper in with the other two? That's put some people off. So most of them now, instead of selling what they call the traffic light peppers, which is one each red, yellow, and green, which was cute marketing, have red, yellow, and orange. And the orange peppers I've been getting from them lately have been absolutely delicious, sweet, delicious. They're all good. And again, the more intensive color, I looked for about 5 minutes because there were a bunch of packages. There were a bunch of packages at the Trader Joe's of the peppers, and I wanted to look for the most intense color. I looked at the red, I looked at the orange. Not as much on the yellow because they all look pretty good, but I looked for the most intense color. More intense color, the sweeter they're going to be, and they're richer in nutrients, I should say. More nutrients. So, okay, I'll recycle that later. We'll fold that up. Oh, want to put this in the fridge ASAP. We've got our organic eggs. Trader Joe's are cage-free eggs, omega-3, and let me go in front of the lens here. I think it was like 3 in the shade. Sometimes I go for the extra large, but I love the color of these shells. And somebody just sent me a text message, but it's going to have to wait. Yeah, Mike's getting down with his bad self. Yeah, no lame text message alert from me. I went with the funk. My son hears this, he dances. It's great. But nice dark brown. That probably doesn't even matter. It's just a personal thing for me. Somehow I feel like if the shells are darker brown, I'm going to get better eggs. And if they're lighter brown, it's probably a bunch of hooey. But I like the way these looked. I remember, so put these in the fridge. Okay, I still did have some eggs, but I didn't know how many I had. In my previous life, and that's all I'm going to say on that right now, I used to have to go up to Boston every so often, and there used to be a local radio spot or TV spot that ran up there, and with a little jingle that was, I'm not going to sing it, but I'll say that for the musician-like videos, but brown eggs are local eggs and local eggs are fresh, so I never forgot that. It stuck in my head. Brown eggs are local eggs are fresh, and I haven't barely used the white egg at all in the last 15 years. It was probably certainly not in the last 10, except the one time my wife forgot and got the Eggland's Best, which isn't bad, but I prefer, it's got the omega-3, but I prefer the brown organic eggs. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, we got Trader Joe's organic orange juice. There are a couple other brands. Again, it's a little more money, but organic. I just feel, like I said in my previous video, I don't care whether you're peeling stuff or not. Anything that has roots is going to suck water from the ground. Any pesticides that are in the area that get washed off by rain or watering irrigation end up in that groundwater, and you don't know what's going into the root systems of any of the things you're buying. So, thinking that you're safe by peeling stuff, like I said in my previous video, fool's paradise, and maybe where ignorance is bliss, is folly be wise, but now you can't claim ignorance on that. Because Organic Mike told you. Don't have a bunch of degrees after my name, but I know what I know, and just think about logically, how could the root system not pull up pesticides that are washed into the ground? It's unavoidable. Unavoidable. Okay, homogenized whole milk, that's just for my son. Again, organic. I won't go over the whole thing about organic versus regular milk. You should watch, I think it's in part 2, it's either part 1 or part 2 of Organic Living, but and again, if you don't believe me, ask Gwyneth Paltrow, she'll tell you. Organic milk, if you have to use milk, is the way to go. My son gets the whole milk. My wife is drinking the fat-free organic milk. I myself just drink almond milk. Didn't really like rice milk too much. Wasn't crazy about the soy. Like the almond milk. A lot of times I get the unsweetened vanilla. There's a few good brands, out there, and maybe talk about that another time. Maybe when I get some advertisers. Ha ha ha. Organic tomato, basil marinara. And what is that beef? Am I losing my battery? Did it stop? Or I don't know how much time I have. Hopefully I'm okay. Got our tomato sauce, organic tomato sauce. That's going to be used for the pizza that I will be making in another segment. And here's our green bananas from Trader Joe's. Well, everything here is from Trader Joe's. You can see that shopping cart. Very green. A few over here are a little more yellow. Want to make sure my son is going to be able to have some bananas the next couple of days, and don't want to give him unripe bananas. So what I'm going to do is grab a couple from this side that look kind of yellow already. Put the other ones in the fruit bowl over here. These I'm going to put in a brown paper bag. Now, you don't usually have brown paper bags, so I guess I'll use this one from Trader Joe's. They were so nice to provide me with. Since I got 4 bags of groceries, I was planning on buying 2. And I'm going to take my organic Fuji apple, put that in there, and crumple up the top. And of course, so nobody throws this out thinking it's garbage. Stuff happens. You try and learn from your mistakes, right? I'm going to write bananas on the bag. Always try and keep a marker in my pocket, just you never know. Except I do know. Put that over here. And hopefully those will start ripening. The apples start releasing the gases, and hopefully by tomorrow, at least one of those looks decent enough for me to let my son have it. For now, I'll just say have some mango and some berries, and you'll have a banana tomorrow. I'm trying to cut back, because really, I know us adults really, bananas are great for potassium, but if you're trying to lose weight, it's almost impossible to lose weight when you're eating bananas. Trader Joe's is a nice organic shells and white cheddar. My son loves those. The other day we were out, so I actually made regular whole wheat pasta. Didn't even have any cheddar, so I had some shredded organic Parmesan and some organic American cheese from Trader Joe. Sprinkled those over it with a little whole milk, because it was for my son, and mixed it up. He loved it. He absolutely loved it. You know, he was fine with it. Had it again the next day. We had made half, and homemade. But it was more time consuming, and frankly, the pasta was bigger. The thing about these is it's small shells, and since it's for my son, I don't have to cut them up. The other pasta I had to cut into smaller pieces to make sure it wasn't a problem. So sometimes, you know, you pay the extra, even though I like, or you know, sometimes you pay the extra. Mango. I love mango. My son loves mango. My wife not so much for some reason. She likes mango flavored everything. Doesn't like mango. But again, look for the intense color. The batch I got last week's probably a little better than these in terms of the color. Not quite as intense. In fact, I think I have one slice left. I think yesterday was the use by date. I don't see it now. Oh, here it is. Okay. So, I don't know if you can tell. Actually, they're close. Okay. Sometimes I get a really nice, almost duckbill orange color, which is what I look for with mango. You get a nice duckbill orange color. They're going to be sweet. Sometimes a little slimy, and then you got to eat them fast. If they're slimy, you got to eat them fast. I don't wonder if this tape stopped. I don't know. I keep hearing this beeping noise. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a low battery. If some of this stuff doesn't record, I have to redo it. I'm going to be kind of ticked, but I won't know until I check. So I'm not going to stop it. I'm just going to keep going. But nice color. This one I eat now that I have these. This said yesterday was the best day. Best of enjoyed day. These I got a week. I got till March 14th. I believe today's the 8th. So look for the deeper, more yellowy orange, more duckbill orange color. Is going to be sweeter. If it looks too slimy, sometimes they're kind of mushy. And if you're cutting up in small pieces for a child, you can enjoy them, but they're hard to cut up in smaller pieces if they're too slimy. I still like them. They're delicious when they're sweet, but a little more firm is better if you're going to be cutting them up for a child. But mango, again, great. And vitamin A, they're sweet, delicious, and good for your eyes and other things. I love mango, just delicious. Didn't have them till very late in my adult life, very recently, and I can't believe what I was missing all these years not eating mango. Just, it's incredible. I find them delicious. Okay, guilty pleasure. And this is not organic, but it's dark chocolate peanut butter cups. My wife loves them. I indulge too. I put them in the freezer, and we have one sometimes treat after dinner. This is good stuff. Good stuff. So, you know, when you're watching what you eat, you're eating right, you're eating healthy, you can indulge a little bit. And dark chocolate is much more healthy, much healthier than milk chocolate. So even though some people like milk because it's sweeter and all that stuff, people are starting to get hip now. Finally, the last couple of years, I can actually occasionally find Valentine's chocolate that's dark chocolate only. For years, you couldn't. And I still finally found a heart-shaped box a couple of years ago. Usually it's just the rectangular ones. This year, it got skunked, could not find a dark chocolate Valentine's candy. Had to settle for an assortment, even though I really wanted the dark chocolate. So actually, I told my wife, guess what, I couldn't find dark chocolate. I bought some the next day when they were half off. So, but she got some nice flowers. And some other things. Instant oatmeal, Trader Joe's has some nice oatmeal. Some of theirs is organic, some is not. Cranberry, blueberry. Here's the whole wheat pizza dough. So I'm not making that from scratch yet. That might be something I may take on again soon, but I'm very happy with Trader Joe's whole wheat pizza dough. Refrigerate it, let it sit out for at least 5 minutes before I start making my pizza. Oh, and there's more. Okay. Here's the tofu, and then I'm probably going to do a stir fry with this because I don't have any lemongrass. And now we're getting to warm weather, but I'm going to try and make that soup for my wife. This is organic tofu. I went with the extra firm because if you try to do anything where really this is acting as a meat substitute and you want the texture of like a meat, the extra firm just gives more of the textile experience like you're eating meat. This is a nice stir fry Trader Joe has. I just started using only for when we're in a hurry. And it's asparagus and onion and mushroom. I think mushroom and onion. Sliced up, yeah, all three, and this is delicious. I actually make this into an omelet. 4 or 5 eggs, And this, I chop up these pieces even smaller so they're bite-sized. And I saute these first in a little olive oil, add a little pepper, lemon pepper, and then and that'll be another side. And then the eggs, make an omelet, and it's delicious. My wife loves it. I'll sometimes make one completely from scratch, but you know, I've got a 2-year-old. I have small windows sometimes when I'm not watching him. So sometimes you gotta be fast. Still whole food, it's just cut up for me. And sometimes you gotta do that, the trade-off, you know, money versus time. Sometimes it's not much of a difference. Organic black bean burritos from Trader Joe, vegetable burritos. And you really, really want to do something you don't have time to prepare, you can keep them in the freezer. So, all of a sudden it's like, oh man, what are we going to have for dinner or lunch? We need something fast. Bada boom. Now, we don't own a microwave by choice. When the last one went, I don't know how many years ago, we decided, oh, I'm off camera again. We decided not to replace it. We have a really nice convection/toaster oven over here. I use it a lot. I use reheat stuff. And frankly, the microwave we use more to reheat cold coffee than anything else. And my own opinion, I just don't really trust eating a lot of microwave food. You know, it's probably safe, but I've heard people, and you know, maybe they're reliable, maybe they're not, say that they see a difference in the blood of people that eat a lot of microwave food, that you can tell. I don't know, I haven't seen it, but who knows? I just figure, you know, if I want something heated up pretty quickly, I can steam things really fast. I've got 3 different sizes. I've got my bearing colander and 2 other size colanders, and I've got aluminum foil. I've got a steamer too, and I can put a pot of water, not too much water, enough so it starts boiling fast. I can put that on the stove, let it boil, have food in a colander, and it gets hot pretty fast. You know, 5-6 minutes, not so bad. I don't need 30 seconds to 2 minutes in a microwave, and then it doesn't necessarily heat evenly, and sometimes you get hot pockets where you can burn yourself. You have to worry about escaping steam when you open these things up. You know, steam. Asians have been doing this for centuries, steamed vegetables. And you don't lose as much. Now, microwave kind of duplicates some of the things steaming, but hey, steaming, you know. There's a reason they've been doing that for centuries. It works great. So I choose not to have a microwave. I have my convection, and I use my convection oven whenever possible. Now, when I bake my pizzas, because they're larger, they go in the regular oven. When I'm baking cakes, cheesecakes, pies, cookies, I use the regular oven. If I'm heating up frozen things or making smaller things where I don't need the larger space, the convection oven shaves about 1/3 of the time off. Preheating time is cut down, way down, and it uses less energy because of the shorter cooking time, in my opinion. So I think they're a way to go. You know, I'm not telling everyone to give it the microwave, but if you don't have one, if it went and you're thinking on the fence, you know, look at some of these convection ovens. You know, for a lot of things, it'll be just fine. It cuts 1/3 of the cooking time off a conventional oven, and in my opinion, it's just healthier. They also have a timer, so, well, so do microwaves, but they also have a timer so they can kind of shut off, and if you're not sure about the cooking and not worried about things burning, if your kid's screaming, or the cat has to get out, or dog has to, whatever. So, I like them. I wish my regular stove had a timer. Morningstar Farm buffalo wings. My wife got me these before the Super Bowl. They're obviously not real chicken. They're, you know, texture vegetable protein, tofu, whatever. They were pretty good. No, there was no skin. No, there were no bones. I couldn't chomp on the bones and suck the marrow out. But I got a nice Trader Joe jalapeno hot sauce, half a stick of butter, melted organic butter, and dipped them in these. Very good. Very good. So, you know, healthier living. Sometimes you make some trade-offs, but there's a lot of good tasting stuff. Morningstar Farms pizza burgers. They make nice veggie burgers. They have a black bean burger, delicious. I usually melt a little cheese on them too, organic shredded mozzarella, organic Parmesan, organic cheddar, and nice and pretty quick. You know, I actually like to do them about 8 minutes, 4 on each side in a frying pan, a saucepan, non-stick Calphalon pan. Lightly toast the whole wheat buns. Of course, I use whole wheat on top of the toaster oven. Also, might just heat them up while I'm doing some nice organic French fries or crinkle cut fries and stuff in the convection oven. Brussels sprouts. Sometimes I get there pre-sliced and seasoned, but I've been doing a lot of the work anyway lately with extra seasoning, so these are whole. Has to be refrigerated. Organic brown rice, frozen. I usually get the bag rice. It does take 45 minutes to prepare. Lately, the way things have been going on, my wife's schedule, my wife is a therapist, has an office in the house, is director of a clinic, and sometimes I have a small window of time where I can prepare food. Some nights I can't be preparing the rice for 45 minutes. So, don't have microwave, so I'm not doing this in 3 minutes, but I can saute in a pan about 8 to 12, and yesterday I actually tried doing this. I used the microwave bag. I just put it in the colander over the pot of water, just like other things, and did the steaming thing. And, I let them sit on there for about 6 minutes, and while the water was boiling, and it was then threw it in, mixed in with the stir fry. It was great. Okay. Here's the other pizza dough. I'm probably going to make 2 different pizzas, and there goes my 1 piece of mango. Some more yogurt that has to get put away. Okay. And nice piece of wild Alaskan salmon. This is actually the silver coho salmon. Wild Alaskan salmon I very often get at Fairway. It's worth it. It's expensive. It's about $18.99 a pound usually for wild Alaskan salmon, but it's the way to go. It's better for the environment. It's better for you. It's got the real color, not the fake color. I generally do not buy farm-raised salmon. The wild caught's better for the environment. And I usually get the Alaskan salmon. But Trader Joe recently has been carrying this. It's actually from Canada. So kind of same neck of woods for the most part as Alaska. And it's a deboned natural wild salmon. And really nice and very reasonable. It's $5.85 a pound. Excuse me, $8.99 a pound. I'll be right. Not $9.85. I was reversing it. It's $8.99 a pound. I knew it was around $9. So this is a little under $9. It's just under a pound, which means for 2 people, this is like 2 meals. You shouldn't. The portion's about a quarter of a pound. What I'm probably going to do is when I do use it, it's going to go in the freezer. I'm going to cut this up into 4 sections. 2 I'm probably going to broil or steam with something. I'm going to have it as a salmon dish with some vegetables, whatever. And the other half of it, or a third of it, part of it I may cut up in small pieces, and I may do some kind of an omelet. I may do a salmon omelet, or I used to puree for my son, but we're not doing that anymore. But I will prepare several things at the same time with different portions of it. But generally speaking, they say, especially if you're watching, salmon's good for you, but most meat or fish, a quarter of a pound, 4 ounces, like the size of a pack of cigarettes, I think is what they usually say. So in the past, I tend to make larger portions, and of course, restaurants serve you larger portions, or you wouldn't come back. So we tend to overeat when we go to a restaurant, even if we're doing portion control. But although you can eat half and ask them to wrap it up for you, but I wouldn't eat it if it was really delicious. I'd probably be wanting to lick the plate. Although I would not, because my wife would kill me. So I think, believe it or not, that's actually everything I unpacked. And it was just around $100 more or less for all this stuff. I plan on spending about $35 on groceries, $25 to $35, but what can you do? So I've got to put some of this stuff away. I don't even know if half of what I thought I was recorded. I heard those beeps. For all I know, the camera shut off 15 minutes ago. If it did, I'm going to have to figure out where I left off and start over. But until next time, assuming that the camera's actually running, and it didn't cut me off after 10 minutes, I don't know. It's organic living. Mike's Organic Living. Live better. Be well. And I promise I'm returning this card to Trader Joe's. Take care.